Welcome everybody to Teapot Witchery. I'm Anne of the Waters, and I guess I'm just doing first impression videos from now on for all sorts of decks and books that come my way. A friend of mine recently came back from the very last PantheaCon 2020, with a couple of goodies that are going to be coming around the corner from Wiser Books, so keep an eye out for this. As he knows that I am a fan of the Arthurian legends and resonate very, very strongly with them, he brought to me this wonderful oracle deck called the Mists of Avalon Oracle by Rose Inserra, illustrated by Nadia Turner. And the box is it's got a really nice feel, very smooth satin finish to it, and comes apart rather easily, which is nice. It comes with a lovely little book to familiarize yourself with the cards themselves, as well as offer spreads. I'm very excited about this because as I was reading it, it takes the Welsh interpretation of the Arthurian legends and incorporates it into this particular deck. I was excited at first because honestly, I thought it was going to be a callback to that fantastic book by Marion Zimmer Bradley and that wonderful miniseries, I believe in the early 2000s. I thought they were going to draw from that, but I was very pleasantly surprised when I opened it up and it, well, I'll show you in a second. So it comes with a nice book, pretty thick, so it's it's good reading material, and for people who are already very familiar with the Arthurian legends, it's a nice little reminder of how the legends vary so much from country to country, and kind of brings back the more Welsh, like I said, interpretation of it, which incorporates a lot of Welsh mythology and a lot more magic into the figures that we're presented with. So without further ado, I'm gonna scooch that down there. Turn out these cards. Beautiful, by the way. It's not showing up so much in the video as it does in real life, but in the video it looks like it's a beautiful powder blue, but in person it's a little bit closer to turquoise. The inside of the box. Beautiful artwork already. The back of it is, oh look, there's my camera. The back of it is beautiful, simplistic, and the feel of the cards are actually rather nice. It's a good laminate, thick, rather good sized cardstock that does not feel flimsy at all. And the artwork here is just gorgeous. Look at this. This Bronven is absolutely beautiful. So let me grab that, yoink. And I love how all of these figures are framed on the cards. They feel a little bit big, but I also have small hands. But they are a good size to shuffle, and I do prefer this style of shuffling personally. And then of course you can do the Vegas style shuffle if that's more your speed. And yeah, my first impressions with this deck is that it's absolutely gorgeous, and the figures are practically leaping off of the cards for me personally, but that's also with my own association with the legends. They're very, like I said, it's a very good solid deck. It's a beautiful oracle deck. Let's just do a poll just for the coming week for everybody. Just some messages that that would be good for us. A nice little shuffle. Whoops, they're very slippery too. Like I said, my hands, as you can see, my hands are fitting around it. I have to stretch my fingers a little bit in order to grab at it. But let's see what they have for us in this coming week. I'll pull two cards, and look at that. How fascinating. we get the Lady of the Lake and Merlin as messages for us. I'm going to start with our lady here. The cards come with keywords that are actually set around the frame. Oops, sorry, that's upside down. Set around the frame of the images, which is really interesting because how these cards will turn up for people. So say this turned upright or this turned sideways, or even upside down. You can use that to determine the different keyword that is necessary from this image for your reading, or you can just use all the words. So for this week, it seems that this deck is giving us the message of being in touch with that goddess self within us, that self-knowledge, leaning into the mystery, not being afraid to dive into the waters because we may come out with an incredible weapon. That's what the lady is trying to provide for us. So we need to look deep within ourselves in order to be comfortable to be in the presence of this goddess, and to be able to have her come into our lives and have her present us with our own Excalibur throughout the week. Let's see what Merlin has to say about that. I bet he's got words. Here, again, I love that there's different key phrases around the card itself. Equilibrium, alchemy, magic, perception. So Merlin also calls to us and says, hey, don't let yourself get too lost in that deep dive for self-knowledge. Yes, you are capable of change, but you need to also be able to see above it, fly up, change yourself into an owl, and be able to balance it all out, because nature is all about balance. For those of us that are not as familiar with the Arthurian legends, each of these cards does have a little reference number at the very top that you can use to flip through the book. And let me see if I can grab that. Whoop, I went a little too far. Hey, Arthur. So here, you can see, you can look up the different meanings. You can familiarize yourself with the messages that Rose and Sarah wrote as her interpretation of these cards as well, or the meaning that she has for these cards. And I am in love with this deck. I don't really know what else to say about it. I cannot wait for these to hit the market. I want to give a mad shout out to Gifts of Wyrd for bringing this beautiful deck to my attention. And I'm sorry if the loud tapping of the cards against the table is hurting anyone's ears, but like I said, thank you, Gifts of Wyrd, for bringing this back from PantheaCon and letting me get a preview of what's to come. I'm very, very excited about it. I'm probably, and by probably I mean I am definitely going to get myself a copy of it and incorporating it into the divinations that I've been doing on Instagram. So just a little bit of a self-promotion. You can follow me on Instagram at Teapot Witchery. And there you're going to find readings of the week, Wednesday message boosts. I love pulling a card on Wednesdays just to give ourselves a little bit of an extra oomph for the rest of the week, because let's face it, which one of us is not bogged down on a Wednesday? I mean, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I kind of just need a little bit of an extra oomph to get me through the rest of the week. Not to mention hashtag Freebie Fridays. If you are on my Instagram page, you will see that Fridays, I usually post a little message that says, hey, first one to slide into those DMs gets a free one draw, one question reading from me. And I love seeing people from all sorts of walks of life send me DMs. Don't be afraid to send me the DM. You'd be surprised. You might be the first one there. You never know. Before I close out this video, I would like to take a moment. Let me see if I can find it. So I mentioned earlier at the beginning that I was expecting when I was told that this was a Mists of Avalon deck, I fully expected Angelica Houston to pop up somewhere, anywhere on this deck. And of course, it's the very last card. And when I first went through this deck, card by card, I thought, oh, okay, so it's not inspired by the Mists of Avalon, the movie or the book. However, when I finally reached the actual Mists of Avalon card, I mean, how can we not see this image and not have that scene come to mind where Morgane lifts her arms and lowers her arms to part the veil to Avalon, or Angelica Houston, the Lady of the Lake, Vivienne raising her arms and lowering her arms to also part the mist to Avalon. I mean, it's such an iconic scene. And I'm sure it resonated with so many of us. And I'm sure with the artists as well, that, you know, they had to include this. They just absolutely had to include an homage of sorts to that. I mean, you have the boat, you have your standing priestess figure. It's beautiful, start to finish. And that is my first look at the Mists of Avalon Oracle, and I cannot wait to get my hands on my own copy of this. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and feel free to give me a follow on either on this YouTube channel, on Instagram, I'm a little bit more active there, or on my page on Facebook, Anne of the Waters. If you search for me, I am probably there. By probably, I mean I am definitely on Facebook. You know, just to give you guys a heads up, I'm gonna try to post more videos regarding first look or just looks at different Oracle and Tarot decks. I cannot guarantee how frequently I'm going to post, but you know, let's just shoot for as often as I can. I hope you guys all have wonderful weekends, and I hope you guys are all taking care of yourselves. And don't forget, drink your water, go have a snack if you haven't already, make sure to take your vitamins, and make sure you try to get at least 8 hours of sleep if that is the right amount of sleep that you need. If it's less or more, make sure you rest. Have a wonderful day.